Hello everyone, welcome to another Versus video. I am BBD joined by
Chris VanMeter.
Yep, and we are about to battle with some new Journey into Nyx cards. And I am pretty excited about it personally. How about yourself? Excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Really? You're excited to play some
Rakdos Cackler?
Yeah.
Burning Transitory.
Really,
Always.
Interesting deck to be excited about. But yeah, we got some sweet new Journey cards, so hopefully we get to see them in action. In my case, I'm probably going to cast a Thraos and then die the next turn. But, you know, there's a lot of value just in even putting it into play. So to start off, we're going to play the basic land game. We got some sweet revised basics and a black-bordered Plains. So since I won the last one, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up and make a selection of which card I don't think CVM is going to correctly guess. And whoa, see if we can level them here a bit. So I'm going to go with this one here.
Right, so the trick is to figure out if it's going to be Plains or not Plains, because it's the only off one. And I'm going to go with it's not going to be the Plains, so I'm going to pick Swamp.
Oh, no, it is not the Swamp.
Man, all right. Now I'll pick Mountain.
Oh, it's not the Mountain.
All right, it's the Plains.
It is not the Plains. Yes, it's the Island. All right. I get to be on the play against his hyper-aggressive mono-red deck. Seems like where I want to be.
Just how we drew it up.
Yep. Oh, man, I already see Orzhov Guildgate in this hand. Can't mulligan. All right. So we have Precinct Captain and no second white mana. Snap Keep.
All right, well, I think this hand is actually really good, so I'm going to keep it.
All right, Orzhov Guildgate, go. Can't win.
Satyr Hoplite.
Uh-oh.
Go.
Uh-oh. Ah, no, that was not what we wanted to draw. We're just going to play our good buddy Underworld Coinsmith and gain a life.
Okay.
So, new guy, we get to gain some life, maybe drain him a bit, and ourselves, which might be a little counterintuitive. But we at least get to gain some life here.
Trigger. 5.
And we're at 16.
Go.
And we did not draw a land, so go. Wah wah.
Uh-oh. All right. All right, so trigger.
I actually have a response for that. I'm going to Orzhov Charm him in response.
Let's lose toughness, right?
Yep.
All right, so you're going to take 1, 2.
I take 2. I'm at 14. You do not get to draw a card.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I think it's actually quite fortunate. I will block.
Yep.
I bet he has some more 1-drops.
Go ahead.
What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Plains. Go. No blocks.
Pump twice, individually.
Sure. So you go to 18 and I go to
4, 5,
9.
Go ahead.
Come on, deck. Yes. Old Brimaz, King of Oreskos, go. All right, please. Don't kill me. I will snap block anything that comes into the red zone.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, I absolutely will.
It's not looking too good for us.
Tell me more.
Maybe I shouldn't have been all in on that Hoplite with the Dragon Mantle. Who knows? All right, so I can trade my Fire Drinker Satyr for his Brimaz if he blocks it. Which I'm guessing that he's probably going to. So we're just going to go ahead and I think I actually want to attack with both.
All right, I will block Fire Drinker Satyr.
All right, so we're going to go to 16 to pump him twice.
And then he will take 4 damage.
Yep.
So you'll end up at 12.
Yep.
And I'm assuming...
And you'll take 1 and go to 8.
Yep. 12 to 8.
I imagine he has another Brimaz, but go ahead.
Another Brimaz? What? What would make you think that? I'll attack for 1.
11.
And we're going to play another Brimaz
Oh
and
man,
say
look
go.
at that.
What do you know about Brimaz?
That's a pretty good card.
That is a good one.
Attack.
All right, well, we have to double block this guy and get another cat out of the mix.
Yep. So I get to kill Brimaz and a cat.
All right, Brimaz and a cat down.
Go to 1.
And I take one. I go. Yeah, I'm at 7.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. Oh, that's another one of those guys, which not exactly getting the job done here. So we're just going to play a Precinct Captain and then bash for 1 with our Vigilance Cat.
10.
And you're up.
Trigger. Go.
Not like to attack into Precinct Captain. All right, and we drew a land that will deal us a little bit of damage if we decide to play it. You're at 10 right now, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 7. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to bestow Eidolon of Countless Battles onto this cat, and I take a point of damage for that. So I'm at 6, and I'm going to attack with both.
Let's see here. So the cat's a 4/4.
Cat is currently a 4/4, yes. So if I don't block the Precinct Captain, I'll go to 8, you'll get a token, and I'll take 5 from the cat. Correct.
And go to 3, and then you'll have 2 creatures to block if I draw a Madcap Skills. So I think I just have to block the Precinct Captain.
Yep, I like that. So you take 4, go to 6.
Yep.
And it is your go.
And I drew my 6th land, which means I'm going to be dead.
Okay.
Alright, we're back for game 2. I will be on the play, as most Burning Tree emissaries like to be on the play. And this hand is very good if I draw a second land. Now I do have one of these to try and get me there, but it could be a turn slow. But I think I am going to keep this hand.
Our hand is pretty good. We need to hit. We basically want this Temple of Silence or our draw step to yield us a untapped white source. But if that's the case, then this hand's awesome. So keep.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. We will scry.
Bottom.
And we're going to have to do a little painful action, but we're going to keep that one on top.
So we'll Dragon Mantle this guy and draw a card.
Okay.
And it's not a land, so we'll attack.
18.
Your turn.
All right. 16 and Precinct Captain.
Yep.
You're up. Do not have skills that kill.
Just play this guy.
Okay.
And then pass.
Draw. Crash on in.
18.
All right, we get a soldier, and we have Brimaz. You're up. spear, and I will attack with everything.
Alright, well. Pretty sure there's 0 chance that I can actually win this game. Yeah, I mean. I think I kept it.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fine keep, but like, yeah, that's like, you have to keep one-landers with that deck, I think.
Yeah, you have 21 mana creatures in your deck.
Yeah. All right, we are back for the sideboard. As for myself, I am cutting 11 cards. I guess I'm only cutting 10 here, so I need to cut one more card. So let's go ahead and bring out another Herald of Torment. But essentially, the idea behind like my sideboarding decisions here are, I want to bring in like a bunch of cheap spells like Doomblade and Bioblade to kill his guys, especially because he's putting enchantments on them. He's putting Madcap Skills and Dragon's Mantle, Mogus's Warhound and stuff on his guys. So I want to have cheap removal to take care of those. Sin Collector is surprisingly good against these decks, even though he doesn't have like a whole lot of spells. He still has enough between like his pump spells and maybe if he's bringing in removal, which they usually bring in Skullcrack or some amount of removal. And then Sin Collector is also a body that trades with all their creatures, so he is usually a 2-for-1 against these decks. And he comes down early enough to be relevant as a 2-for-1. And then Blood Baron is just a good top end. Games slow down usually a little bit post-board because we have more removal. So we usually have time to get to Blood Baron, which will oftentimes end the game. Or at the very least, he usually trades with a guy and gains us a bunch of life in the process, which is usually fine as well. And then as for what we're bringing out, Obzat unfortunately has to get the axe. Blood Baron's just kind of a better Obzat in this matchup. Both gain you some life, but you don't really care about being aggressive. So oftentimes Obzat just has to stay on defense, in which case you'd rather have Blood Baron because you can at least gain some life if you have to trade, or when you start going aggressive with Blood Baron, you're gaining more life, which is more important than how much damage you're actually dealing. And then Athreos, we can't really afford to play cards that don't really do anything immediately, and Athreos doesn't have an immediate impact on the board in this kind of a matchup, and he can just afford to take 3 life whenever our creatures die because he's the aggressor, not us. Likewise, Spear of Heliod gets cut for the same reason as Athreos. Our creatures are already bigger than his and better in combat, so we don't actually need Spear to enhance them, and we don't want to have a hand where we have a Spear but no creatures to go with it. So we're just going to go ahead and cut Spear entirely. And then Herald of Torment, I think, is our worst creature beyond that because we have to take damage every upkeep with this guy. So he can either not attack into it if the board gets to that point, or even if he is attacking to it and we're like killing a guy with a Herald, we're still taking damage every turn, which is not where we want to be. So that's why Herald is the other creature that has to go in that situation.
Makes sense. I am bringing in just a bunch of removal. Cards like Precinct Captain and Brimaz are just very difficult for this deck to beat. Since we have no removal in the main, we do have it in the sideboard. 3 Mortars, 4 Searing Bloods, and 2 Shock, just as ways to interact with his early game so that we can punch through damage. Searing Blood is particularly good at that, whereas if I can have an aggressive turn 1, turn 2, and have him follow up with a Precinct Captain thinking he's going to hold the fort, Searing Blood can do a lot of damage in 1 turn. As for cards that I'm cutting, we're getting rid of the 4 Dragon Mantle, as we just don't want to open ourselves up to getting 2-for-1 with something that isn't adding damage to our plan. So I'm keeping Madcap Skills because I can use it as a way to get in 3 damage when he's tapped out. But I just don't really think Dragon Mantle's where we want to be. And I'm also cutting 4 Foundry Street Denizens and a Chrome Crusader. We have to cut 5 1-drops, and I think that these are the numbers on the 1-drops that I want to shave. It could be that getting rid of the rest of the Chrome Crusaders and some of the Hoplites is right, but I kind of still just want to play with Hoplite and because it's a new card just to see how it feels.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed actually pretty good that one game. Outside of me being able to kill it with the Orzhov Charm, like if you had been able to stick that Dragon Mantle and I didn't have Orzhov Charm, I was just dead. So,
that's how we're going to side and see what happens.
Okay. All right, we are back for game numero tres.
Numero tres.
Number 3.
I'll be on the play again.
You would be on the play.
All right. Well, there's another 1-lander. But even if we draw a second land, don't think we're that far ahead. hand is pretty gross. I think that we probably have to keep this hand. But we're still just like going to be losing to an early creature. I feel like I can get the better 6 of this, so I'm going to mulligan this.
Okay.
But it's... I feel like knowing what I'm playing against this hand just can't interact with a Precinct Captain at all.
Yeah, also you don't have any, like... You actually have 3 1/1s for 1. Like 3 creatures that are worse than Raging Goblins, you don't have any way to target them yet.
Yes.
So, yeah. I'm going to keep my hand. We have a bit of an interesting decision early on that will definitely affect like the first like 3 turns of the game. So I'm unsure of what I'm going to play yet, and it's really going to come down to what he plays on his turn 1.
Which hopefully is a creature.
Probably will be.
I don't know. We cut 5 of them, so
It's true.
we're down to 15. Alright, I'll keep. Go.
All right. So let's go ahead and draw a card here. All right. So based on our draw, that actually basically changes how we want to play this turn. So we have a temple and a godless shrine. We have 2 temples and 2 godless shrines, and we can either like double shock ourselves to start that way, or we can play the game a little bit slower and like lead with temple and then play out all of our cards a turn slower but not have to shock ourselves at all. And I actually think that playing out our hands slower without shocking ourselves is probably a stronger line. But since we drew this card for turn, we're actually going to go ahead and shock ourselves here and play that out. So then next turn we can play a temple and then play this as well. So you're up.
Alright, trigger.
All right. So it's got that skill. There's madcap skills. And we're not going to block, so we're just going to go ahead and take 5 here. So we're at 13.
Go.
So we're hoping that he doesn't have removal here, or else we could be in for a bit of trouble. So we'll go ahead and scry. This is actually not terrible against him, but I'm going to go ahead and ship it to the bottom in hopes of drawing like a Doomblade or something. We're just going to play another Soldier of the Pantheon and say go.
Okay, so... wish I had drawn a land here. So I can use this. Searing Blaze would have been really good here. Like I said before, to beat on the play with the Searing Blaze to get through a bunch of damage. But we don't have one, so...
I'm glad you don't, or else I'd have to call a judge.
Or Searing Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can still... So I can put this on the Soldier and attack, which is still going to get in 4 damage. Then he would lose both of his creatures. But I think that I would rather just get in a bunch of damage now.
No.
So we're going to Mortars. Attack.
All right, I take 5. I'm at 8.
And then it'll be your turn.
All right, draw. That does not help us any, so we're going to scry. And that does help us, so we're going to keep that on top and play a Precinct Captain. And pass the turn.
Okay. So a land there is actually pretty good. So here now I can So I think that it might be best just to play this and pass. The other option would be to play this on my soldier and attack, and then he's going to be able to kill off my Chrome Crusader, but he wouldn't lose anything when he does. So I actually think that I just want to play a Firefish Striker.
Okay.
And then I'll pass the turn.
All right, that is pretty good. So attacking with Precinct Captain is essentially the same as not attacking. Either he's chump blocking it, us killing a guy, or he's taking damage and we get another guy, which is exactly the same thing. So there's no reason to not attack with Precinct Captain here. So I'm going to go ahead and shock myself down to 6 and attack with the old Precinct Captain.
Okay, I'm not going to block.
All right, so you're at 18 and we get a soldier.
Yep.
And I'm going to play Precinct Captain and say go.
Okay, so he shocked himself to do that, which means he has a removal spell here for my Firefish Striker. So at this point, we just need to draw into a removal spell for that Precinct Captain to be able to get in some damage. So I'm thinking about using this here on his end step. Or maybe I don't actually.
If it's like a Titan Strength, it's better to just upkeep it.
Yeah.
If that's your plan.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think that even still, I don't want to. So we're actually going to Madcap Skills here on the soldier.
Okay.
Combat.
So before attacks, we have to kill something. Otherwise, his Firefish Striker is going to be able to essentially turn off one of our creatures. And since we have so many guys, I'm not actually worried about killing the Firefish Striker. We're better just killing this. Even though he can target in response, we're still better killing this guy. And reducing the number of active Madcap skills on the board. So I'm going to Bioblade your Chrome Crusader.
I'll respond.
Okay.
And we're going to scry 1. And I don't want this, so it's going to go to the bottom.
Okay.
And we'll go to combat.
Sure.
And make your Precinct Captain not be able to block.
Okay.
So this attack still isn't very good, but like we have to try and get in some damage.
So we're at 6 right here. I'm trying to think. So based on what's in our hand, we have this in our hand, which is really going to definitely swing the game for us. So I think that we have to double block here to reduce the amount of damage we take the most. Like, I want to put myself in a position where a Searing Blood doesn't kill us. And if we block like this, then we're still just dead to a Searing Blood next turn. So our best bet's to just double block here.
All right, so you'll take 3.
We lose both our guys and we take 3. So we're down to 3.
Go ahead.
All right. And now we could play this, but it's worse than just playing this. So we will play Whip of Erebos, and we will attack for 4. So you go to 14, I go to 7, and then we get 2 soldiers. Go ahead.
Oh, you're at 7. I forgot to change your life to that. Yeah. I think that we're just actually dead. So I can bestow this somewhere, but it doesn't do anything. And I can do it second main, so then he can't. So then like, he would lose creatures if he were to attack. But even then, he still would be gaining some life. I think that I am actually just going to go to second main and bestow here.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
All right. So if we attack into that thing, we definitely lose one of our precinct captains at the very least. But we still would get to hit him for 4, gain 4 life, get another soldier out of the deal. And that thing has to attack each turn if able, which is pretty sweet when we have this. Unless he gets a haste guy. Which I think we're still fine either way, so we're going to send the team on in.
I'll block a captain here.
Okay, so you're going to take 4 damage, and we're going to get 1 soldier out of the deal.
And you're going to gain
6 life. So 13 to 10. And Blood Baron. You're up.
And we're actually just dead to Blood Baron.
Alright.
Alright, game 4. I don't have any land.
We're going to keep this
I'm a
hand.
little fast, so I'll hold it up. So all the happy viewers at home can see the glorious pile of poo that's in my hand.
So we're going to keep this hand, but this is not an exciting one. We're going to need to draw well to pull out of this. We do have a temple, which will help us scry. We do have these, which will certainly buy us some time. But this thing's a little mediocre on by its lonesome, and these could be pretty brutal over the course of the game. But we're still going to keep this hand.
Oh man, this is a fun game.
I can just look at CVM and tell that that's not exactly the hand he's looking for.
I mean, well, I'm not going to 5.
All right, old mountain go.
Yep. Don't play any 1-drops.
We're gonna scry, and we're gonna ship anything that is not a creature to the bottom. So that's not a creature. You're up.
All right, Bob, light me. We'll go.
All right. Well, we are going to actually. Yeah, we're just gonna say go.
Attack.
Bioblights. And actually, I'm gonna.
Nope.
I know your list. I know you don't have it, but the correct play there is.
You should have did it while I was tapped out.
Well, it doesn't actually matter if I do it when he's tapped out or not. Like, if he wants to save him with a couple of Titan Strengths, I'm okay with that.
Or I could just, like, if I would have had, like, a 3 damage burn spell, I could have just killed one and saved the other one.
True.
Like, I actually could have just Syrian blooded it.
Yeah.
Just to save it, but
I'm actually okay with.
I'm just dead to a precinct captain, so.
Yeah, like I'm actually okay if he does any of that. So I'm fine waiting because like we can catch a madcap skills or something if we wait. But you should always do it in the beginning of combat step before they attack.
Yeah.
Because if he has Rubble Belt Maka, we get blown out. So
Yeah,
that's just something to always keep in mind. So I'm gonna play Soldier of the Pantheon. Say go.
Yep. I think we have to wait. We know he plays precinct captain. Jeez, go. Oh man.
All right. Well, I will take a point of damage and bestow Eidolon into the sky. And combat attack.
I might have a response.
Okay.
Because that will give him 3 toughness.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to blood him a response.
Okay. So we're at
16.
16, and we have an Eidolon, and it's your turn.
Oh yeah, the old Rakdos Cackler. Go ahead.
He is larger than my Eidolon of Countless
Right
Battles.
on time. Turn 5 after we kill the soldier of the Pantheon.
Ooh, alright. We will scry and bottom that. And I will just attack for 1.
I can't block.
Cannot block. Your turn.
Well, I'm sure we've got a removal spell waiting, but I'm going to try and be still.
I will Orzhov Charm in response. So you take, or I take 2, I'm at 14.
Go ahead.
Alright, deck. And you're up. Actually, yeah, your turn.
Cards.
3.
Alright, we'll try it.
Resolves
Attack.
Doomblade.
Yep.
Alright. Soldier. 2.
17.
Your turn.
Go.
Yep. I will bestow Eidolon of Countless Battles onto the soldier. And I will attack. See, I'm at 14, you're at 17.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. 3, these are both 3s. Attacking for 8. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attack for 8. Get a little greedy here. I think that's 8 at least.
9. Yep.
Go ahead.
Go.
All right. I'll play another land. I will play Underworld Coinsmith and gain a life. 15. And I'll attack.
I'm going to blood here.
I think I definitely drain at least once, because that makes our attack lethal. I don't think that I drain beyond that though, since I don't really want to do unnecessary damage to myself. But maybe I drain twice. If I drain twice, then this guy would be lethal by himself if we draw a creature next turn. But I think I'm just gonna play it safe and just drain once.
All right.
So I'm gonna be at 14. You're gonna be at 8, and then I take 3, so I'm at 11.
Block here.
All right. So take 3, go to 5.
Yep.
You're up. The loneliest Rakdos Cackler. And I missed my trigger to gain a life, but that's fine.
Oh, I can't even block that guy.
Yep.
I like him.
All right, we are back for game number 5. See if
All right. This hand's not good. But I got stuff I can play. And I'm not going to mulligan again, so we'll keep.
All right, well, this hand's lands and spells. It's actually not that great against him, but it has great potential, so we're going to keep it.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'm going to lead with that over a Rakdos Cackler because he has 2/1 guy in his deck.
Soldier of the P. 18.
We didn't draw land, but we still got more 1-drops. Go ahead.
All right. Well, hopefully you don't have a removal spell. It's your good boy, Precinct Captain.
Oh, I got a shock for him.
Boo.
Check for 4.
14.
Go ahead. Don't got much else.
Oh, well, I have a Herald of Torment. Not exactly the best, but he's actually better than Eidolon would be right here, so. No.
Okay, so I don't think we want to do this. I think I'm just best off attacking for now.
All right, well, I'm going to block the guy that's better against our deck.
Yeah, or coordinated result.
That's pretty good.
That one of. It's still.
All right,
we only
we're at
have
11.
All right, well,
Pretty sure I'm not winning this one.
I think I have to
we'll see.
cast this instead of this just because of Bioblight. Go ahead.
All right.
We'll play the 1/1 instead of the 2/1 to play around Bioblight.
Go.
Whip. Do I want to just do this and pump?
We're in basically
Yeah.
dead to anything mode. So 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 6. Don't do it. Oh, gross. All right. I wonder if we're. Oh, that's not a bad one, but. Well, actually, that might honestly just be better, even. It's really this actually kind of sad. I have the choice between casting. I have the choice between casting Brimaz and Blood Baron, and I actually think that Brimaz might just be better than Blood Baron. Since I have Whip and play, I gain the same amount of life.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna cast Blood Baron because it's better against Searing Blood card. And also, if I draw a removal spell and I'm not dead, I can go Brimaz into a removal spell.
Alright, so you're at 6.
Yeah, I
So-
might just be dead
Yeah, I have
though.
a shock for whatever guy you block.
So yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, so I'll just attack with everybody.
I'll block Fire Drinker Satyr.
And then I'll shock the one that you block.
Oh, 18 life. You're at
There's 18? That onslaught shock.
Nah, you're taking 2 from the Fire Drinker.
Oh yeah, I'm at 18 now.
Yeah, you're at 18. And then I take
Well, we won one, boys,
I
when he
take
did
7
little
and
nothing.
die. All right, we are back for the conclusion of our epic battle between Brimaz and a red deck.
And a bunch of Mongo 1-drops.
Yeah. So this match was unfortunately a bit of a slaughter, but I mean I think there's still some interesting things that we could basically pick up from it. How is Satyr Hoplite and Mogus's Warhound for you?
Hoplite was okay that first game. Like if you didn't have a removal spell, it would have been a lot more interesting if I had played it correctly. Like I don't think that I should have put the Dragon Mantle on the one Hoplite. I should have put it on the second one in my hand. But the deck definitely felt interesting. But I think that Brimaz is the kind of card that people want to play, and they're going to keep playing it.
Guilty?
Whether it's good or not at any point.
Yeah.
So I would definitely avoid a deck like this just because of that fact. Like the card is so good against you. If I were to actually continue to work on this deck, I definitely would put between 2 and 4 Museum Mortars in the main.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But Warhound definitely did seem interesting. I feel like it would be better suited for a deck with not as many 1-drops, but where that exists, I don't really know. So maybe it's better to put it on green creatures. Who knows?
Yeah, that might be true. Like it seems like a kind of card that might not be great in a deck with only like 18 lands or 19 or however many you're playing.
Yeah.
It might be better suited to like a bigger red deck where you can put it on like a Chandra's Phoenix or something like that.
Or like a Boros Reckoner.
Yeah, or a Reckoner or something along those lines. It might be a little bit better there. Didn't get to see too many of the new cards from this deck. I drew Coinsmith a couple of times and he was fine, but like, I mean he's a 2/2 for 2, so he's just gonna die early on in the game.
With an ability though, so like he's gonna shine against the decks that don't just have a whole lot of ways to get rid of him. So.
Right. So yeah, I think he's probably actually very, very good against decks like this. Just the longer he sticks around and play, the more advantage he generates. And I think he's also good against control decks too for the same reason. If they don't immediately kill him, he's going to generate a lot of value over the course of the game. And he's actually a good late game top deck in a variety of matchups. So I'm not sure if he is like good enough to see play, but I felt like he was probably better than Cartel Aristocrat in this deck.
Yeah.
So
I think he is, especially in a deck like this where you have Bastille creatures and Mutavaults. So your deck has Soldier of the Pantheon in it, but you're playing like 25 lands or something.
yeah.
Because cards like Herald of Torment, Eidolon of Countless Battles, and Mutavault, like they make you want to play more than the standard number of lands, just so that you're always hitting your cards on curve. Plus, you have things to do, so you don't actually flood out. And Coinsmith fits perfectly into a deck that are playing those types of cards, because when you draw it on turn 8 and have 8 lands in play, then at the very least you're going to be able to do like 3 damage or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And he also like I'm playing Obsidat, so I can't play less than 25 lands with 3 Obsidats in my deck. But yeah, like having one reason I opted for Eidolon, I didn't mention this in the deck tech, but one reason I opted for Eidolon over Desecration Demon is exactly that, just to give me something extra to do and just a little bit more resilience to removal spells. And I also think that with so many like crappy 1s and 2s, I want cards that let me attack through like Sylvan Caryatid and things like that. And having Spear and Eidolon and Herald of Torment means like my 1s and 2s and 3s are going to get better as the game goes on instead of just like completely getting invalidated.
Another card that I also like to go along with Eidolon and Coinsmith, I think Blind Obedience would actually be pretty good too. Like the incidental damage will start to add up. We'll be able to fireball them with the Coinsmith. Plus the Blind Obedience actually pumps Eidolon and or is it enchantments or auras?
It's only auras, so it doesn't.
Oh, I thought it was enchantments. The whole time I was like, man, if he plays a whip, this guy's going to be so big. All right, so it is only auras? Okay. Well, that's a little different, but I still think that the incidental damage might add up.
Yeah, I actually considered that. I also consider Tithe Drinker an old favorite of mine.
Old Tithe Drinker.
good old Tithe Drinker, drinking some tithes, but opted against those because I felt like they might just be a little too low impact. Unfortunately, this was a matchup where Athreos wasn't particularly good. But it seems like just from like the way the games were playing out that it's going to be very easy to turn him on. Kind of like Thassa, almost as easy as it is to turn Thassa into a creature. It might be roughly that easy for Athreos to get turned into a dude. And he is probably a little bit worse than Thassa because he can just get chump blocked and so forth. But I think that an aggressive draw from this deck like really puts the clamps on your opponent to find an answer to Athreos. But he's also probably fine like in games that go a little bit longer as well. It's just like a grindy, resource thing, generator. So
plus, unlike decks with Thassa in it, if you're playing Athreos, you get to play Whip and Obsidat. So
right,
they are.
I'm not pigeonholed into Judge's Familiar and Tidebinder Mage against Esper Control or whatever. Yeah. So there's some value there. Mana Confluence, obviously, again, doesn't exactly shine against mono red. And it didn't seem like I needed it. It seemed like my mana was pretty good. But there were a couple hands where I had like Orzhov Guildgate Swamp. And it was just like, Mana Confluence would be awesome there. Or if I have like an Orzhov Guildgate and a Mutavault, and I have like a Herald and a Brimaz, like Mana Confluence would be awesome there as well. Just to serve as an extra like Godless Shrine basically.
Yeah.
So I'm unsure if it should be in the deck at all, or if so, like how many I want. Because the drawback's definitely real, but
I think in decks like that, 1 or 2 is probably going to be the right number. Like you said, just as an ancillary number of whatever shock land it is that you're playing. So like if your deck isn't 3 colors and you're going to lean heavily on it, then you might just use it as that 5th or 6th Godless Shrine. Whereas before you would just play like more Orzhov Guildgates.
Right. Yeah. Like it lets you not have to play as many guild gates, and play a few more lands that do the same thing but don't come into play tapped all the time. But there definitely is a real cost. Like I think a lot of people are underestimating that the cost of the card is actually pretty real, especially if decks like that are big.
Yeah. Then again, if you want to offset that cost, just play cards like Brimaz, and you'll be fine.
Brimaz and a whip, and hey.
Oh man, Brimaz and a whip is pretty nice.
Yeah. So all in all, I like this deck. I think it was kind of cool. It's hard to say how it fares against like the rest of the field, but this deck's definitely very good against an aggressive strategy. Just between all the cheap guys that are roadblocks, along with like some of the removal spells, and then Spear and Whip to really hammer it home. That one game I was able to go like, Precinct Captain into Brimaz, into Spear, into Whip, and you were stumbling, but even if you didn't, I'm pretty sure the game was over there.
There's some very powerful Magic cards.
Yeah, they're quite good.
Especially when you line them up against cards like Foundry Street Denizen.
Yep. Yeah, when Brimaz attacks and his cat completely invalidates one of your opponent's cards, it's a good day. So, I will say though, sorry this video is so one-sided. We do try to generally play decks that are a little closer and not blowouts.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
However, I will say that I did pick my deck first and told CVM that I thought I was favored in the matchup. So, I will wash my hands of this. But
hey man, we got to appease the masses. Everybody loves Burning Tree Emissary.
Except me, which is why Bioblight's always on my deck. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
So next week we should be fairly close to having the full spoiler.
Yeah.
By the time we film, we probably won't have it, so there might be some cards that we're missing that people want to see.
By the time this video comes out, I'm sure more of the spoiler will be out.
But yeah, more of the spoiler will be out. So please, feel free to post in the comments any brew or interaction ideas that you have,
or just even any new cards that you want us to work around too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might be able to think of some deck ideas or something.
Now, is there only one Planeswalker in the set? Is it just going to be a Johnny, or is there supposed to be another one?
I think it's just a Johnny.
Man, I feel like this block has less Planeswalkers in it than the previous blocks.
Yeah, I think so actually. Well, I think they've been doing like 2 in the first set and then 1 in each of the second sets lately. It's kind of been their thing.
And I just want a million Planeswalkers in every set.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure M15 is going to have a lot, so.
There's going to be 6.
Yeah.
From what I saw. So the storyline is Garrick's a bad guy, and then we have Nissa, Gideon, Jace, Liliana, and Chandra are all going to, like, he's trying to capture them.
Yeah, so.
I think I've played that video game before.
Really?
No, but it sounds like a pretty sweet video game.
Yeah. And it is called, Garrick's Romp Through the Woods. Only on PS3.
Only on PS3.
Yeah.
So again, guys, thanks for stopping by. Let us know what you want to see next week, and we will see if we can come up with some sweet new brews.
Some brewskis.
That don't have Foundry Street Denizen in them.
They might have Coinsmith, Underworld Coinsmith though. Okay.
That's true.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I have some ideas, so we might see where we go with that, but.
I'm pretty sure they all involve Obsidat.
No. They don't, but.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys, for BBD CVM here, and see you later.
See you.